It's another new day for Africa's journey of transformation. South Africa has a golden opportunity to make great progress on this journey during the upcoming elections at the end of this month. President Ramaphosa's heir is on the line. He's feeling the heat with these elections around the corner. Despite the polls saying that the ANC could lose their majority for the first time since taking power in '94, Cyril still seems to believe that everything's gonna be alright. But that only applies to Bob Marley and the people who are truly spiritual in their own ways. Some analysts agree that the ANC still has a path to the increasingly difficult majority mansion, thanks to their formidable grassroots hustle. This path runs straight through those rural strongholds, where they consistently hit 90% of the vote. But make no mistake, their back is on the wall with those razor-thin margins. Voter discontent is real, with deteriorating services, soaring crime and unemployment, not to mention the endless corruption scandals. Racial inequality remains glaring. Tosha, enough is enough. South Africa needs truly transformative leaders at all levels of government. ANC also has to deal with the twin headache of EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe. These two parties are potentially eating into at least a quarter of ANC's votes. Furthermore, there are lingering internal divisions between the radicals and the moderates, and Zuma's loyalists. The difference this time, the ANC is disunited, running a migrant-riddled campaign for the first time. This is the most open and predictable election of South Africa's democratic era. The electoral unknowns are as many as ANC's unknowns. It could truly come down to the final days as voters weigh nostalgia for the Liberation Party against the reality on the ground. Will sentimentalism trump reality? Turnout will be critical, especially getting those die-hard rural loyalists in places like Mandela's homeland in the Eastern Cape. For 15 years, the ANC more than doubled the black middle class and expanded basic services for millions. Nearly half the country still gets state support. The healthcare overhaul Ramaphosa has signed into law could boost them too. But there's a heavy ominous cloud hanging over ANC. The ANC has struggled to truly deliver economic equality since taking power. Corruption has had a field day. Too many just wanted access to state coffers and contracts rather than real governance. Tosha, enough is enough. Despite all this disappointment, legacy loyalty means that for hundreds of thousands, the ANC is still trusted more than any alternative. But in the economic heartlands of KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, that decide a third of seats, the campaigns will be fierce. If the ANC falls just short of the majority, they'll have to cobble together a very unstable coalition with their ideologically opposing groups to stay in power. The opposition has its work cut out too. The DA is still seen as too white. The EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe might just be weakening each other. Others are questioning whether Zuma's Umkhonto weSizwe exists for this very purpose of ensuring that EFF limps rather than strides into the final stretch. The bottom line is this, so that with GDP growth stuck at 1%, the ANC has to prove that they are really about the people and progress. This is likely their last chance to ride on liberation credentials alone. Tosha, enough is enough. South Africa deserves truly transformative servant leaders, irrespective of their parties. Unfortunately, Western-style democracy often gives voters a false choice between party and leaders. That's why Africa needs to embrace Afrocracy, a uniquely African form of governance.